we go.
Thank you.
There we go. Cheers.
Lovely.
Yeah, nice. Yours is with almond milk.
It's actually quite sweet.
Very nice.
There's
some biscuits as well. Oh, with little koalas on. Little stars. Okay, so good morning, everybody, and thanks to those who are joining in. Oh, we've got a couple of people there, but that's fine. We are sitting here at Koala Cafe in Grovida, in Riverside Road this morning, and I thought it appropriate to invite Jaco from PEST Control to come and join us today.
Thank you, Douglas.
To discuss those pesky little pests that we have in our house, this time of year especially. So Jaco, thank you so much for joining me this morning, and hope you enjoy the coffee chat.
East Coast.
And then, Jaco, can you just give me a little bit of background of your company? Because you were just telling me now that your grandfather founded it way back when.
Yeah, so PEST Control originated in the 70s from a company that came over from Australia.
Oh, okay.
W.A. Flick. He was an old farmer, lots of insects on the farm, and he developed his own pesticides, and then he started a company.
Okay.
And that company is over 100 years old now.
Oh, wow.
We in South Africa were approached. My grandfather started in 1958.
Okay.
So we're over 60 years old, but Flick we only changed names to Flick once they came into the country.
Oh, okay, because obviously in Australia it was W.A. Flick originally.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, that's so interesting. Oh,
so
nice.
it's a third generation pest control company.
Very nice. And you were telling me you've got a couple of other little businesses on the side, which we can also discuss down the line, and bring you in for those when we get to those ones along the way, which is great. So thank you so much. So everybody, a couple of weeks back, as you know, I chatted briefly about compliance certificates that are required for transfer in a property, touching on electric fence, electrical, gas, and entomology. So today, Jaco and I are going to chat about entomology specifically, and those awful little things called wood borer that fly in and eat everything, and especially wood, and then white ants or termites.
Yeah.
What is an entomology certificate actually cover?
Okay, so when you're selling your house, we as entomologists have to inspect for any wood destroying organisms, insects, it could be water damage, wood rot, those type of things. So your wood destroying insects are basically your wood borers, wood borer is actually a termite as well.
Oh, okay.
It's a West Indian drywood termite. So it came in from West India with the timbers. And that's how the houses got built, with the timbers, and that's why we have borer in Durban.
Okay, so
it's an alien insect.
Okay, so that's what I was going to say. Describe wood borer, which is an alien insect. Okay, and the borer belt, because you say in Durban, is it not a KZN thing? Is it only Durban?
So with your entomology inspections, the entomology inspection is necessary for all coastline areas. So even Cape, Eastern Cape.
Oh, okay.
KZN.
So it does go all the way down to the Cape.
Yes.
So it's not a KZN specific thing, although I think they call it something different in the Cape. It's not a wood borer, it's a beetle certificate or something.
Well, it's entomology
same thing.
certificate.
Okay. So my silly question is how far, the borer belt itself, and how far inland does it go? I mean, do houses in Hillcrest have to be tinted or or checked for entomology certificates?
So houses in Hillcrest, some of them would have thatched roofs, and there you get a thatch beetle.
Okay.
So it's not the wood borer that we have in Durban per se, which is Cryptotermis brevis. It's a different beetle. So you get beetles that eat wood. Obviously in nature you've got wooden trees that die, and then you've got the beetles that eat them.
Okay.
So in Johannesburg, you also get a beetle, which would be a furniture beetle that you get inside of furniture, but it's not really a structural problem.
Okay.
Whereas ours stay in the roof timbers, and then you start having problems with roofs collapsing.
Roofs and floors as well.
Exactly.
Okay, and doors. I've noticed some in my house. But that's another story. Okay, so when is borer season specifically? Because I think we've discussed previously where they fly in at a certain time of year. So no matter what you do, you can take the tent off and they can still come the next day.
Okay, so they're active throughout the year.
Okay.
Once you start seeing droppings falling out of the little pinholes. It can either fall from the roof or from furniture or from the floors pushing up. Once that starts happening is when they start getting ready for the new kings and queens to start flying.
So the droppings are those little black sort of, that almost looks like that stuff
on the color
bread.
of the wood, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay.
So that's the PCs or the droppings.
Oh, wow.
But it's basically just timber.
Okay.
It's just wood. So once you start seeing that is when the workers are preparing space inside of the tunnels for the new kings and queens to start flying.
Okay.
So same like your termites that fly at night, you know, the big termites, the white ants.
No.
The white ants that fly around the lights.
Please, is that what flies around? I thought they were just moths.
No.
Oh, no.
Well, your big ones ones that fly outside.
Oh, okay.
You know, when it's hot and humid.
Yes. Okay.
Those ones.
Okay.
So the wood borer is also a termite, and they react the same way.
Okay.
And it's those hot and humid days.
So essentially, season then would be now, spring, summer.
So season end of October till end of March, round about there, depending again on the weather.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, but they're active all year, but especially active now. So if we're
that's when they fly. Yeah.
When they're flying. Okay.
Yeah.
So
they don't stop eating.
Yeah. Okay. But we'll see them flying around, and if you see them flying around, then it's a problem. Give Jaco a call.
Yeah.
All right. So so that's how you notice them in the home. So what treatment can be done? In a house, very easy. You put a tent on, necessarily.
Well, a lot of people do maintenance throughout the term of their stay in the house. Mm-hmm. So when you sell your house and you have borer, then we fumigate the house.
Okay. And that's the tent.
That's the tent. Mm-hmm. So we put a tent over the house. We fumigate it with a gas.
Yeah.
From there on, the clients. Some of them prefer to do maintenance treatments. It is advisable because by that way you creating a support structure for your timbers. So you're looking after your property.
Yes.
You're also keeping a control on the new infestation. So it just helps going forward to minimize damage in your house.
Okay, so that's obviously in a house which is easy, just to come through every couple of years, check everything and just do the odd spray.
Yeah, we drill the timbers in the roof, we spray it. If you have borer in the floors, we would inject it or spray it.
Okay.
If you have a borer in the door, we can take the door off, fumigate it and hang it.
And if you're noticing termites, you would assume do the same thing, because it might not necessarily be borer, but you might see termites.
Yeah, so termites, in the old Durban North houses, you have the wooden floors. Mm. So we get under the floors, we inspect underneath. If you're finding, they call it tracking, where you're finding these little runways of sand.
Oh, okay.
Working their way up to the floors. We would then break those down, spray the entire subfloor area to create a barrier under the house.
Okay.
If it's a concrete house, then we have to drill through the slab.
Okay.
And inject chemical underneath to prevent the termites coming up.
Yeah. Difficult one. In simplexes, duplexes, and apartments, how do you treat on transfer? Because a house you would fumigate, but an apartment or that, what would you do for treatment?
So flats or apartments, by law, we're not allowed to fumigate unless you get rid of air or you have everybody vacate the property for the time while you're fumigating.
Yes, okay.
So we can't do that, obviously, because there's a lot of people involved and to move everybody is very difficult. There we would do spot treatments where we spray the floors if there's borer in the floorboards, inject cupboards, doors, whatever. So it's all spot treatments.
Okay.
But unfortunately, being a spot treatment, we can't guarantee the treatment.
Yes.
Because we can't see if there's borer not showing in other areas.
Okay.
But now suddenly it's flight season and now suddenly they appear because they want to go and fly and mate.
Yes.
And then suddenly they appear. So unfortunately we can't be held responsible for those type of
And when you're spraying, just from a safety point of view, obviously nobody can stay in the apartment then for 24 hours? Or?
No. So it's not a chemical or it's not a gas. It's a chemical. So that chemical dries out. Once it's dry, mainly it stops smelling.
Yes.
But the crystals will then stay in the areas that we've treated.
Okay.
So the smell does go away after a little while. So if you come in the morning and spraying the area, somebody could still sleep in their house overnight, but obviously
you advise the windows and that be open.
Yeah, if they suffer from asthma, then it might be a problem.
Okay.
Then they might just have to sleep out for one night.
Sleep out for one night.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's what I was going to ask. And is notice given to neighbours when you're fumigating a house, for example?
Yeah, so
I mean, how dangerous is it for people in the immediate vicinity?
if we're doing an apartment, we don't fumigate, we spray, then you don't need to give notice because it's not a gas that can move through walls or through conduit.
Okay.
But in a case where it's a house, either the pest control company or the owners, normally the owners know the neighbors well.
Okay.
They'll just send out the notice to say, guys, we're fumigating such and such a date. Please make sure that your kids and your animals, because it's mainly cats that jump over the wall and might run under the house.
Okay.
So just make sure those dates that you have your pets and kids safely at home.
And the neighbours are aware of that for that purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
And we also we put up danger signs around the house.
Yes.
So that anybody that's not supposed to be there can see the signs and
okay, so you do inform people of potential danger. Yes. And then obviously you're letting the people themselves know who are in the home what to remove. So if somebody's tenanting the house but they've still got all their belongings in the home, what should they remove?
Okay, so over the years there's been a lot of old wives' tales. You know, people think that,
I've heard of like oil paintings and that type of thing.
My entire house, basically. Yeah. But it's not that. So in the past, a lot of things were organic. If you think of rubbers, leathers, oils, all those type of things.
Okay.
These days, most of it's synthetic, but also the gases that we use don't affect them.
Okay.
So all you basically need to remove is things like your fresh produce. So things that go off.
Okay.
We can seal an chest freezer. You can seal that so all your frozen stuff can go in there. Okay. And you remove the things out of your fridge that can go off.
Okay, so it's not as onerous as it used to be and as people think it is.
Even in your cupboards, anything that's in an original sealed packets can stay.
Okay.
All your flour, rice, pasta, all that can stay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because we fumigate that before you get it anyway. Yeah.
All right. Beautiful. Okay. Okay, so what needs to be removed? So how long does that treatment take on a fumigation generally?
The fumigation process?
Of the house, yeah. So from how long does a person have to be out the house for or can't be inhabited?
So we would get to the house, call it 8:30 in the morning. The client we'd go through the house with them. They would then vacate, leave us with the keys. We then fumigate the house. That fumigation takes, the tops are on the house for about 24 hours. When we open up, we give the keys back to the client. They lock up, set the alarm, and then they can come back the following morning. So they've got to basically be out for 2 days and 2 nights.
Okay, and that's sort of the average standard, in terms of safety. Okay, and then how long is the entomology certificate actually valid for?
Okay, that's a good question.
Because I know we always say 3 months before transfer because it must be valid at transfer. So
I think once the client or the seller has a signed agreement, it shouldn't really take more than 3 months to get that property transferred.
Yes.
So within that time, then we can do the inspection and the fumigation.
Can fumigation be done on transfer when everybody's moving out and in?
That one has to try and relate with the purchasers as well.
Okay, so everybody has to be happy in order for that to happen.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the seller should be.
But the seller is better off having it fumigated once they're in the house because then their furniture gets fumigated and they don't take the critters to other areas.
The next property, yes. Okay, because that was one of the questions that came through is obviously if furniture gets infected by an owner's property in terms of a tenant's rights, obviously who's at fault there? Well, it's a difficult one to prove because obviously there could have been those little critters in the furniture already to start with, plus in the house, and then it's just an explosion that happens. So it's always advisable to actually just fumigate all your furniture in the property before you move.
Also wood-borer won't show themselves within 2 years of infesting furniture. So if you as a tenant move into somebody's house it won't affect your furniture, or you won't see an effect on your furniture for at least 2 years, because that's how long it takes for the king and queen that's entered the furniture to start a new colony, and then for that colony then to move out, and that's the first time you'll see droppings.
So you could have moved 2 houses along already, and then in another house and trying to claim from a landlord, meanwhile it's from a house 2 years ago, for example. So I know we did touch briefly on the ongoing maintenance, etc. So once somebody's transferred, or for landlords specifically, you advise that they come in. You come in how often? Every year or two, just to check everything?
Maintenance on a house you should probably do every year.
Okay.
And then we come in, we do an inspection of because if you can control the infestation in the roof, you control the spread down into the house, because once the roof gets full with infestation, then they start looking at other areas, and then they'll come through the ceiling into the house, and that's when the house starts getting infested.
Okay.
They can also fly in the window if you've got the windows open in summer and you've got lights on, because they'll fly towards the light, and that's where they meet
so that's
partners.
the problem. Okay, so keep the windows closed and the aircon on.
Aircon on, yeah.
All right, perfect. And then Jaco, anything else specific that you want to throw in about borer or termites? I know I did have a few little cockroach questions for summer, and those white ants that come around in the kitchens and everything. Anything you can advise there for people in general?
Yeah, so we're sitting at Grovida now, and that's where we buy our pesticides. If you come down, have a word with Vincent or one of the staff here, they can advise you on the little ant baits that you can put down just to control the annoying ants that come into the kitchen. Or cockroaches, probably better to get a professional, because they're hiding spots, breeding areas, those type of things are important to know where they are and how to treat it.
I actually had a lady phone me at 8 o'clock this morning in terms of entomology, saying they come in every 6 months to spray for cockroaches. And so I said, well, just get the entomology
in Durban,
certificate.
that's advisable because of the heat that we have here, and obviously the hotter it is, the more breeding takes place.
Lovely, I know. So just one question that I wasn't quite 100%. So the borer belt is all along the coast, and then how far inland does it stop? Sort of Hilton is quite humid, moist, should I say, and misty. Very
rarely do we go past Westville getting infestation. We have had some areas in Pinetown. We've had in Hillcrest, or Bothas Hills, Shongweni, that side. But again, that depends on the timber that the property was built with. Was it built early in the 1950s, 40s, when the timber came in? And that would have the infestation in it already. So it's not like they spread there. It's they were taken there. So your borer belt runs on the prevailing winds. So when the borer fly, they will either fly northeast or southwest. So on the prevailing wind, and that's the borer belt that's formed there.
Or somebody hasn't fumigated their furniture and they've just taken it inland with them.
But that'll be a single incident.
Then. No, that's
not
perfect.
Spread throughout the whole KZN or coastline.
But basically, if you live on the coast, you need to get a borer certificate if you are selling your home. Only valid for 3 months, and also just to do ongoing maintenance, give Jaco from Flick Pest Control a call, give us a shout if you need any questions answered along the way, and just do it sort of every year, give them a call and just check your roof rafters and all the wood in your home to make sure that you don't have any critters flying in. But anyway, thank you so much, Jaco. Really appreciate your time. I know you've got to go and get to work and put tents on houses and everything, so I really appreciate your time. Thanks, everybody. See you all next Tuesday. And Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Thank you very much to all those warriors out there. Keep fighting the good fight. Have a super week, everyone. Cheers.